All right, here is our setup for our practice and for other projects, but you're gonna take your embroidery floss. That's what this is called, embroidery floss. It is not thread. The floss is made up of 6 threads spun together. So this little piece right here has 6 threads in it. We will never use 6 threads for our project. We're gonna always use 3, which means we have to split it. There is a video on Canvas that explains that, but we're gonna gently pull on this in hopes of not making a knotted mess and keeping it in its paper. That would be the best solution. It doesn't always work, but we're gonna get about, see, this might happen, but we're gonna get about 3 feet or a yard of thread for this project, or floss, I should say. Okay, so once I have about 3 feet, I'm gonna cut it. Now, I have the right length, but I don't have the right width. I need 3 threads, not 6. So I am going to pull apart my floss and get 3 strands or 3 threads. So there are 3 here and 3 here. And I'm going to start to pull them apart. It gets twisty and can get tangly, so you have to kind of work it slowly. Pull on this part here to keep it from getting tangled. You can always have a friend hold one end for you while you do it. And I will keep going. I'm pulling while this is separating, getting a little tangled. So I'm going to stop and kind of twist it and kind of pull down like this to keep it going. I'm going to pause this and keep going. Okay, so I have 3 strands. That's exactly what I want. For any time we get embroidery floss, we're going to want 3 strands. Sometimes it might already be 3 strands because someone else split it already. You'll have to check. Okay, you're going to thread your needle. Here's how this works. You're going to take, of course, your thread and put it through the eye of the needle. I sometimes stick it in my mouth and get it wet, honestly. Okay, then I'm gonna pull some through, and this string will never be tied. We're never tying it to our needle. We're never tying it at all. But the other end, we will tie into a knot. So one end stays free, one closest to the needle, and one end gets tied. The way I like to do it is, like I showed you in class, like a roller coaster loop. And then you put the end through the loop. Now I'm going to try to get my knot close to the edge of my string, so I kind of work it down toward the end. That is a very tiny knot. Now it probably still won't go through this fabric, but I'm going to do it again and try to get my second knot that I put through my loop to be in the same place. It almost worked, so now I have 2 little knots. So again, make my roller coaster loop and put the end through the loop and pull. I have done this before where I stick my needle right where I want it to go to kind of hold it down. But anyway, tie your knot. Okay, so now I have a good knot and a loose end. Okay, I'm going to take my hoop, put the small hoop down, put the fabric on top, put the one with the clamp. I think this one's broken. Great. You put the clamp on top. And you want it to be tight. So that's kind of loose. You can either pull it, or I can tighten it a little here and make it harder to get on. Then I would say this is still moving too much. So I'm going to tighten this, tighten, and then I'm going to yank, oh, came out, yank my fabric, tighten it, pull my fabric tight. Once it's on, you won't ever have to take it off. For this project, if you were doing a project at home, you might need to take it off and move it around, but our project is going to stay within this size. Okay. So now what you'll do is you will take your thread, you will always start in the back, and you will push it through and start working on your practice stitches, unless this is a different project. And when you do that, and you're done with one row, let me show you what you'll do. Okay, so I just finished my back stitch, and this is the back of my work. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not cutting it, I'm not knotting it, I'm just moving on to my next running stitch. So I'm just gonna go up here, and I'm gonna start this way. I'm gonna turn mine because I'm right-handed. And I'm gonna do my running stitch where you leave a little gap between. And that's how it works. When we're all done, actually, before we talk about being all done, I want you to see that my fabric is too loose. Watch this. See how it's moving? I don't know if you can tell. See this? That's too loose. I really need it to be tighter. So this obviously needs to be tighter so that when I pull this through, it's more like a drum. See the difference? Now look. I can't push it out. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when you're all done. So on the back, you have your stitching, the back sides, the stuff that you don't want to see. And when you tie it off, anytime you want to switch colors or you're done, I like to find a stitch that I have nearby the last place I came through my fabric and use that to help me. So I go through an existing stitch and pull my thread, and I leave a loop, you can see right here, and I'm going to put my needle through this loop and pull, and that's going to give it a little knot. I like to do it twice, so I go again. I'm not going in the fabric, I'm only going in the floss. Have a loop, go through my loop and pull. And now I can take my scissors, trim it, and there you go.